What's up guys, Joe here, welcome back to my channel, and today we are back with more PCM, more Uno X, and today we have a monument to take on. That is right, it is the 11th of April and Paris-Roubaix is in its normal spot on the calendar, and oh my word, I cannot wait for this race. We also will take on the Presidential Tour of Turkey, Brabantse as well, later in the episode. But yeah, the big one today is of course Roubaix. So let's not mess around at all. Of course, we do have Jasper Stuyven, the winner of the Ronde van Vlaanderen last week in game. Let's see if he can repeat that right here. You can see our squad though on screen. Probably it will be Marcus Huldegaard, our leader, but we also have Magnus Cort, we have Rasmus Tiller. If any of those guys are on great form, they could definitely be in the leader role. Away we go then for Paris-Roubaix, and as seems to always be the case in the Belgian Classics this season, Jonas Widerberg on a decent day, and he is going to try and join today's breakaway, and it does seem that Marcus Huldegaard is our rider in the best form. He is 80 cobble with that +3 day. And joining that breakaway does seem to be a pretty simple task. Widerberg up the road alongside Rudy Millard. We also have Warren Bargill up the road. You can see the rest of our comrades. Here we go then. The breakaway arrive on the first cobbled sector with only a 3-minute lead over the main group. It's not a big lead, of course, but hopefully Widerberg can be used later on, and I am watching out closely because if there are any attacks going off the front, I want to try and follow at this stage of the race. And it's not the luckiest start for us as Scarsa immediately punctures as he hits the cobbles. Okay, here we go. Pete Allegar is attacking up the roads. Hopefully Russell can follow the Belgian rider to the rest of the breakaway, and we can place 2 riders in the group at the front of the race. Okay, the peloton has exploded just a little bit already due to the difficulty of the cobbles we are facing. Russell is trying to follow Beermans, Janssen, Soup and Allegar to the front still, but still some way off. Okay, and as you can see, it has been a huge effort for Russell to try and follow these riders to the front. I think he is going to make it. Only 30 seconds right there, and Widerberg can sit up whilst we're waiting for Russell, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not sure this was the best move. Russell, these riders have really good cobble stats, as you can see, 77 for Beermans, and that has made it really difficult for us to follow. Oh, and we've had a crash. We've had a crash. Rudy Millard just falls as Russell is joining the rest of the breakaway. To be honest, whilst he's here, I think Widerberg can sit up in this group, but yeah, not sure how long Russell is going to sustain himself in this group. And to be honest, the race has really settled into this rhythm right now. We still have 14 riders at the front of the race, 2 from our squad, and still over 130 riders in the peloton, but it hasn't been an easy race so far. I'm expecting to see the numbers in this group come down very, very quickly. And look at this, Seb Langerval, Nicky Terpstra, big riders of Roubaix in the past are already getting dropped, a sign of the moving times of the world of cycling. Oh, and Tige Benoot falls, and I think Tige Benoot may be withdrawing from Roubaix, a potential winner of this race. Let's see, and Benoot does not get back on his bike, and he is going to withdraw from the race. As you can see, the peloton has exploded down to 50 riders. And here we go, you can see the black banner welcoming the riders onto the feared Arenberg sector, the most difficult sector probably in all of Roubaix. We now have attacks. Max Volscheid and Madouas are looking to join the front of the race. Let's make sure we're just staying in position, I think. And I'll tell you what, even though Russell is completely done, just having him in this breakaway to ride a little bit so Widerberg can sit up has been a godsend, because Widerberg has so much energy still left in the race. We're down to 35 riders at the front. The peloton has been absolutely decimated. Look at this, John Degenkolb, a former winner, I think, also out the back. So 85k to go. We have literally 36 riders at the front. Plus 14 makes 50 riders still in contention to win Roubaix, and Widerberg still looking great. Maybe I should drop Russell to help out Magnus Cort. I think we'll leave him here just for the moment. Oh, and here we go. Here we go. The favourites are coming to the fore following Big Max Volscheid. We have, I think, Wout van Aert looking to attack as well. Dylan van Baarle too, you can see he is looking to bridge to the front, and so is Matthew Van Der Poel. We need to make sure we're staying right in position here on this 4.5-star sector. So the race is all over the road. The likes of Van Der Poel joined the breakaway. Of course, we're not going to work with them now. It's all back together. 43 riders in the peloton. And Matteo Trentin counter attacks them with 70k to go. He's looking for a long ranger. So is Dylan van Baarle. I could try to follow, but I think we need to keep our guys together now and just look after Houdegaard. But there goes Van Aert, there goes Seneschal and Asgreen. We need to probably try and follow that move, otherwise any type of position is going to be done for us as Jasper Stuyven punctures. So unlucky for him, he'd follow that move. We also have a rider falling just behind, that's Max Volscheid, and Van der Poel is so far out of position. Okay then, so we're all in for Marcus Houdegaard at this stage. 23 riders are in the chasing group. Witterberg and Court, they're just going to be working for Marcus. Surely Van der Poel is going to try and bridge to the front of the race. We have a massively dangerous group of favourites here. But there you go, it does just about come back together, and I think we're going to have counter attacks. Matthew Van der Poel is following. I'm not sure I'm going to risk following at this stage of the race, whilst we still have at least some support, minor support from the likes of Magnus, Court, Nielsen, also Van Baarle and Terji up the road. They have a massive lead already, and this sector is going to say goodbye to Magnus, Court. It's going to say goodbye to Jonas Witterberg, and now we have Houdegaard at the front by himself. We're alongside Wout van Aert right at the back of this group, not in a good position at all, but if Van Aert is here, I'm not too worried, to be honest with you guys. Let's try and cling on. He still has a teammate up the road as Van Aert, so that is fine, and it is a solo move by Matthew Van der Poel with 50k to go. And there it is, Wout van Aert attacks up to Matthew Van der Poel. We need to try and follow at this stage of the race. Stuyven is done, a sign of how difficult the race has been already. We need to cling on to the group at the front of the race, and we're just about going to do that with Marcus Houdegaard. An attack by Sepp van Marker. He must be very, very strong today. We need to recover ASAP. There you can see it's a big group of favourites, and Wout van Aert on the attack again. Nonetheless though, no one can get away, and Houdegaard is in the top 10 riders currently at Paris-Roubaix, but staying here is going to be so tough over these cobbles considering our energy. Again, we are literally clinging on to the front of the race. We have to use these quick step riders, Seneschal and Asgreen, who seem to be working together. Let's try and snag some water whilst we're here. Van Aert, Van der Poel, GVA and Sepp van Marker are just up the roads at the moment, and we've also dropped Niels Pollitt and Dylan van Baarle. Could we be on for a top 10 or even a top 5? That would be superb. And luckily, we are just about going to abuse the use of the quick step VU riders, and 8 riders are back at the front of this race. Let's just roll to the front of the group. I'm not going to follow any moves by the likes of Sepp van Marker. We have to rely on the likes of Wout van Aert and Van der Poel surely to help us pull along and catch those guys. We're not the favourite, and we can use that to our advantage. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Matthew Van der Poel, the most unlucky of punctures. Oh my word. And he has fallen past the second group. Christophe Laporte falls as well, which we see just ahead of us. But is Matthew Van der Poel going to be allowed back on? And is Wout van Aert now going to increase the rhythm to try and keep his big rival behind? It doesn't seem so. Where is Van der Poel? He is so far behind. And so at this stage of the race, I will be happy to try and relay. I think the gap to Van der Poel is 50 seconds, and I think his chances of winning Roubaix are pretty much over with 20k to go. And now GVA attacks onto one of the final cobbled sectors, and our energy is not looking good by any stretch of the imagination. Can we cling on? It's crucial we do if we want a chance of winning here. And Wout van Aert is looking to counter attack as well. Oh, and I don't think we can continue. The car 4 is next, and we are pretty much done. Let's sit in the wheel of Casper Asgreen. I think Wout van Aert or GVA are going to win this year. Look at how difficult the car 4 sector is. If we get over this sector in this group, I think we're in a pretty good place, because hopefully the cobbles pretty much ease right now. Come on Houdegaard, we just need to cling on for a couple more meters to this group, and we have a chance of a really nice result. So only one minor cobbled sector remains. Houdegaard is here with Asgreen, Seneschal, Van Marker, Trentin and DVB, and only 15 seconds to Van Aert and GVA. You know what? I don't think they're going to hold on. Van der Poel is trying to make a comeback. I don't think he's going to do it though. Oh, and can you believe it? Can you believe it, guys? Because Matthew Van der Poel has made it back on to the group. He is back on, and surely he's not going to win from here. I cannot believe that. We're following Wout van Aert, but GVA is the man to attack in the final of Paris-Roubaix. Let's just stay on Wout van Aert's wheel, and hopefully he can put us in a decent position. 5k to go, and Marcus Houdegaard enters the velodrome at Paris-Roubaix in with a chance of maybe winning. GVA is just up the road. He has gone all in right now, and I am not moving from Wout van Aert's wheel, the European champion, with 3k to go. GVA, is he going to hold on? And here we go. The sprint is launched very early, is it, by Sepp van Marken with an attack. We have 2k to go. And could this be our opportunity with Marcus Houdegaard? We've gone for it very early. Houdegaard has gone for the win in Roubaix. It's a very, very early move. I think too early. We went all in for victory. It's not quite going to be for us today. Wout van Aert wins it. And Houdegaard finishes seconds. Oh my word. Just an incredibly close finish today. I went for the early move. We know we can't defeat Wout van Aert or Mathieu van der Poel in the straight up sprints. And oh my word, did we almost pull off the perfectly timed attack. I think the finish line actually took place slightly before the on-screen finish line, which does mean I think we snagged second just ahead of Van der Poel and Seneschal. It was very close anyway for those podium places, but what a result, despite not taking home the famous Cobble trophy when you win Roubaix. We will take second place, splitting Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel all day long. So I thought I'd show you guys the Tour of Turkey in kind of a recap format as I did earlier in the season at the UAE Tour, I think it was. Anyway, we didn't really bring any GC contenders to the race. Instead, we chose to focus on trying to chase stage victories and trying to sprint as well. Of course, in the mass sprints, we had Chris Halvorsen here. He's our main stage chaser, but also at the race was Peter Sagan. And you can see us going right to the wire with King Peter Sagan on stage 1, and he just pips us to victory. But a really, really good start to our race right there. So again, stage 2, we tried to go for a similar tactic, and I tried to maybe consider following someone else's wheels, as you can see, but this time that really cost us that moment of hesitation from me with way too far back, and Peter Sagan streaks away to victory. 2 out of 2 for Sagan, and we are second on both occasions as well with Chris Halvorsen. So stage 3 came around. We did have this little punchy finish. You can see Simon Yates here at this race as well. He's trying to make the most of his climbing abilities. I tried to cover that with one of our riders, I think Abrahamson. Everything was pretty chaotic after that little climb. Yates didn't get away. None of our riders got away. It was a massive rush for the line. No setup from me, but Daniel Houdegaard manages to win, I think, his first race of the season out of nowhere, and we secure our stage victory. So 2 second places and a first on the first 3 stages. I was definitely taking that. We then moved on to probably the queen stage of the race. I tried to really hold on with Cinder Kuset, who's a rider. You can see by his attributes, I haven't really used a lot. He's not really any type of leader, mostly a domestique. I tried to see what I could do with him. He was on a good day, but of course, he couldn't match the likes of Romain Bardet, Matteo Fabro, Eddie Dunbar, all of those riders, and we just about crossed the line for a top 15 with Coulthard. So that was a good result for him. But of course, that means no chance of us competing in the GC. Now, for this sprint, I decided to go for a slightly different tactic. As you can see, I tried to follow the wheels of a different team heading into the final kilometers. They were in a good position, but you can see Sagan on the right-hand side of the road. We're trying to hold on. We spent a lot of red. We're trying to sprint for the line. We don't quite have enough, and Ethan Hayter, quickly becoming one of my favourite riders, to be fair, takes that stage. Sagan was second and we were only 4th place, and that would conclude the race. There was one stage which simulated automatically by the game. We didn't do anything in that stage, so you can see the final results. Of course, we did get our stage win with Daniel Houdegaard unexpectedly. No real result in the GC, and a pretty good result. But we do get some great news following that race. We will be heading to La Vuelta a España. We are going to 2 Grand Tours this season, the Tour de France first, and then we will be going to La Vuelta. So that is something to look forward to. But next up, we do have Brabantse Pijl. This is a really fun race, kind of bridges the cobbles and, of course, the Ardennes Classics, almost in between both races, and Van Aert and Van der Poel are here. So no easy results for us. Oh, and such a shame for us to start, because Houdegaard, Kort Nielsen and Rasmus Tiller, all 3 of our leadership options, are all on a bad race day condition. Let's maybe try and put some riders in the breakaway to hopefully make up for that somehow. And I wasn't sure I'd be allowed, but we have managed to place 2 riders in today's breakaway. Scarset is here with Widerberg on a +4 day, and this honestly could be our best option at victory or achieving a good result today from this group. Okay, approaching the Hertstraat and the cobbled sectors of the race. This is probably where the race is going to be decided. I think we are now on the final circuit. 75k to go. We only have 2 minutes in that group, but still plenty of firepower from our riders at least. Okay, and we need to stay very aware now, because Jumbo Visma are tearing up this race, working for Wout van Aert. Look at the size of this group. Look at the size of this group. Magnus Cort, stay to the front if you can, my man. Tiller, he is gone. Hulgaard is gone. And I'm certain, due to the size of the group, there are some pretty important riders who have been dropped already. Boy, oh boy, what a difficult race this could be. Van der Poel is behind as well. But back at the front of the race, as we approach the start-finish line, I think for the third to last time or second to last time, we still have Scarset working very, very hard on the front. Please don't try and attack my man Rex. Just work with me. We have the power to try and hold this group off. At least I'm dreaming. Honestly, I know we have a long way to go, but what a ride this is by Anders Scarset. Let's attack into the Hertha try and catch Rex, which we have done. Maybe put some others from this group in difficulty, because I don't think they're really strong enough to help us continue pressing on at the rate we need to if we are to hold off this group behind. Sadly though, Scarset is now done and Jonas Widerberg has put in a little dig from the rest of the breakaway. Let's see who can follow. Let's press on. I know it's a long way to go until the finish line. Let's try and maybe draw out a few riders from this group, a few of the stronger riders at least, because we still have almost a minute and a half. And look at this, Wout van Aert is losing his domestiques. I'm not sure if even Van der Poel has any domestiques left in the race. Yves Lampaert is the man chasing for the Koenig Quickstep, and I'm hoping to continue to hold off this group behind, getting more difficult by the kilometre. I think the best option at this stage is to try and follow Wout van Aert with Magnus Cort Nielsen up the road. Let's attack into the Hertha Strats again with Jonas Widerberg. We still have 30 seconds on the chasing group behind, and they're dropping away and into the clutches of the peloton behind. Van der Poel is here, Van Aert here, and Cort is holding on to the wheel just about of Wout van Aert. Oh, look at this. This could be the winning move right here. We have Seneschal, Russo, we have Van Aert, Van der Poel alongside Magnus Cort and Marcus Hulgaard as well. Let's stay here on Wout van Aert's wheel. Widerberg, I'm sure, is about to be caught, but what an effort it has been from the Norwegian Viking today as Van der Poel is bridging up to him. And at this stage, of course, Widerberg can just sit on the Dutch champion's wheel and see if he can drag him to the line. But hopefully, I think we can hold on to the wheels behind with our other two riders. Oh, it's so difficult, but that could be it, because Widerberg has been caught, Van der Poel has been caught as well. I'm actually going to try and do this. Let's try and protect Magnus Cort Nielsen. He is now the rider in the best position to win for us. So we can't really control the attacks though. We certainly don't really have the power in our team to do that, even though we have the numbers. Russo is going on the attack. I'm going to have to let him go, take the risk, but as soon as Wout van Aert moves, which he is right now, we are going to have to try and move up with Hulgaard and now Magnus Cort Nielsen coming into the end of a very selective edition of Brabantse Pijl. I don't think it's going to be victory. We don't have the race day for that. Hopefully we can get top 5, which we will. Matthew Van der Poel wins Brabantse Pijl. What an epic race that was. Seneschal and Van Aert rounds out the podium. And can we hold on for 4th place? I think it's going to have to be a top 5 for Magnus Cort Nielsen. Based on our race days, I will take that all day long because we've really ignited this race. There are some basic rules in cycling. Either Wout van Aert takes victory. If not, it's Matthew Van der Poel. It's very simple. Those two just dominating the races in today's episode. Magnus Cort top 5 though. We have to take it, continuing his really solid run in the individual rider standings. And with that result, he is now 8th place overall in the Super Prestige, rising above Sam Bennett and Remco Evenepoel. So apparently PCM Joe forgot to do an outro, so this is Editor Joe coming at you just to say, hope you enjoyed today's episode. Drop a like if you did. Smash subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.